Hi, everyone. Robin Mosa, Anna Terranova, and we have a new agent on our team. This is Victoria. I don't want to butcher your last name.
Butko.
Butko? Okay,
Yeah.
Butko. Oh, sorry. Butko,
Yay.
she's on our team now. There's 3 of us. You have 3 Tipsy Realtors coming at you live every Wednesday, showing you how to have a liquid lunch and learn about real estate all at the same time.
Yes, welcome.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much.
We're
She's
so
fresh and
excited.
license. She's like new and green and all happy.
Yeah. Yes. She just got her license. She just joined our team this week.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
really excited to join this amazing team, and I'm really excited to start working in the real estate, which is surprisingly for everyone else.
And of course, we are starting with the most spookiest topic that most of the realtors are actually very uncomfortable to talk to about their clients. And you will start with that. Good thing we have a very strong drink to go with this one.
Exactly. I know I can
It
smell
smells like
the
I need it.
I can smell the absinthe already. So we are making a cocktail called sorry.
She hasn't even
Technical
drank yet.
difficulties, I know. We're starting with a cocktail called the Death in the Afternoon, and I can tell you by the ingredients.
You'll be dead in afternoon. It's
Yeah,
a Wednesday
exactly.
afternoon. So it's perfect.
All
And
right.
obviously we are talking about death and real estate.
Yes, and do you have to disclose? And if you do have to disclose, why? Because it's always a big question for a lot of people is, do you have to disclose? How do I find out if someone died in this house or anything like that? So let's start with the fun part, which is always a cocktail. So you can see on the screen, it's 1.5 ounces of absinthe in a coupe glass. Which is chilled.
Yeah.
So you want to throw your 1.5. So again, we're using the fabulous shooter from Fifth and
Vermouth.
Yeah. So
That Robin got for her birthday.
From the lovely Anna.
From what? Yes. All right. So absinthe is a green, very herby smell liquid.
Fennel kind of stuff.
Yeah. Anise maybe.
Yeah.
And it's quite strong.
And then you're supposed to
honestly,
you're supposed to do 4.5 ounces of champagne chilled. But what I'm going to do is, because I'm pretty sure.
I think you just should fill it up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking that based on what 1.5 looks like in these coupe glasses, I assure you, I don't think we're hitting 4.5 ounces of champagne in here.
Oh my goodness.
So it is a very strong drink.
Oh, it smells delicious actually.
Super easy to make,
delicious.
yeah.
Oh, is this something you wanted to decorate with?
If we wanted to, I brought actually lavender from my garden. So you could put lavender in it if you wanted to. It's kind of hard because fennel is kind of a really kind of unique kind of licoricey thing. So I wasn't really sure how
It's quite pretty, and look how bubbly it is. It looks kind of
when
almost
you put
creepy.
the lavender, there's bubble.
All right. So
cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
This is your first Tipsy Realtor.
Yes. Cheers to the first Tipsy Realtor. Death in the Afternoon. Good one to start with.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It's stronger than I thought.
I told you we should have put less absinthe. It's
it is.
Yeah, let's try one more time, she says. All right,
let's try one more time. Hey, at least she's a go-getter, right? Look at that. She's like, all right, let's take a second sip.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good name.
We definitely need
for the cocktail.
Yes. You know what? It's kind of, you actually get used to it. The first one is very punchy because there's a lot going on. Herbs, and it's strong, and it has sweet. And champagne bubbles. I'm sure it's going to go right to your head. But I would say, our champagne is not super cold.
No.
I think colder champagne would make it nice and crispier, even though we chilled. And so make sure your champagne is very cold. We even chilled our glasses. And
and this
I would say
taste will open a bit.
So it's very interesting. If you want to literally kill your guests.
This is like warm right
now. It is. It's clearing my sinuses up.
What? No, but actually absinthe is known for its, if you drink too much, it has hallucinogenic things. That's what I heard about. Not experienced in my 20s, but it's a very horrible drink. And it's actually, if you drink it straight, some of the alcoholic beverages that are based on herbs, they actually could be really good for your sinuses, for your cold. My throat is clearing up, so
drinking is always good.
Well, when I was in New Orleans, I'm pretty sure on Bourbon Street they put it through something that is with the fire and stuff like that.
Yes,
It was a big show in New Orleans.
you can burn this up, but it's a really cool drink. It has a green tint color. Even like I have a smoky glass here. You have a clear glass here. It's a really spooky looking drink already. So I think for sophisticated crowd, people may appreciate it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
speaking of sophisticated and crowds,
yes, let's talk about ghosts.
let's talk about ghosts. All right. So here's a big question that everybody wants to know is, if I go into a house, is it required by the seller to disclose if someone died in that house prior to my purchase?
And it doesn't matter what kind of death. Like we're talking about all death, like suicide death, somebody died from natural causes, maybe crime scene. Exactly. Yes.
So the simple answer is no. It's not legally required, but not to sound like a lawyer, it depends. So there is a clause in the Alberta real estate purchase contract. So if you're using the most recent version of the Alberta real estate purchase contract, there is a clause 3.1F that says that the seller is required to disclose any material latent defects or items that should affect value. So that's where it becomes a little bit
Like
gray.
gray area. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like what kind of death will really affect the value? If it's 100-year-old grandma just passed away in her sleep versus some more violent crimes, right?
Absolutely. So I do know that there is one house in Calgary that had a big mass murder in it.
In the last 5 years?
No, not that one. There's another one that's like way back in the 90s.
Oh,
like mass murder
so
down in
there's more than
Bonaventure.
one.
And
Yes.
they still to this day disclose the death of that house because it was where a dad murdered like 5 kids and a mom. And it's still disclosed on the listing to this day every time it comes up that that's the history of this house. So there is going to be houses like the one where the children were unfortunately murdered.
University students, I think. Yeah.
That one probably is going to be disclosed. And
Yeah.
honestly, this is where an argument comes in. There was case law in Quebec.
Yeah.
Where a Quebec judge said it wasn't a factor that influenced value. But honestly, it's about risk tolerance. If you don't disclose it as a seller, if the owner finds out and sues you, is that a risk?
And usually owners find out because your neighbors will talk.
Yeah.
It's like, did you hear about that house?
Absolutely.
And the older the property is, a bigger probability that something died there.
Absolutely. So we always tell our clients in Turn of the Century Homes, if you have an issue with death, there's a good chance if a house is that old that there won't be any history of death probably prior to 1975. So if death is an issue and if you're adamant that you want to know if anyone ever died in the house, the answer is we won't know if the house is even not really that old, like even 1980s and above or older, because we're not going to know about the death disclosure. So it is something, though, as a buyer that you can write terms into the contract that says to the seller's knowledge that they've never had a death in the home or aware of any death in the home.
You can simply ask a seller, like a realtor, is like, if this is again something important to you, especially like I think mostly like religious reasons.
Yeah.
Some people are also uncomfortable with the whole topic, but I found that a lot of my clients who were not comfortable with the whole thing, it was of religious reasons. And you need to tell the realtor right away. Like, he's like, listen, I'm willing to look at all the properties, but we have to ask everybody before we even go into the house that disclose the death. And the seller cannot lie. If that you ask the seller direct question, they cannot lie.
And if they do lie, obviously you can take them to court.
Well, exactly, and you will win. Like that, most likely, because.
But how can you figure it out if the seller lied to you? How can you figure it out?
Because neighbors gossip.
Yes.
Your neighbors will always gossip. So like for me, there is one person who lives down the street from me that's one of the original houses built in 1998. There will always be people in the area that's going to know the stories. I've lived in the area since 2001. So for me and the other people, we know quite a bit of the history of houses on that street. We know which house was a grow up, we know which house wasn't, all that kind of stuff. So any neighbor who's a long-term neighbor is going to know the stories about the houses around. And trust me, everybody loves to gossip about the death house.
Absolutely.
Or the grow up.
Or grow up, yeah. Or anything that happened, like, out of ordinary.
Absolutely.
So definitely, it's one of the things, the buyer beware idea is in every province. When you're buying a property, if you have not done your own homework, the court will say, well, it's by I'm sorry, I
Due
forgot.
diligence.
I
Oh,
forgot.
caveat emptor.
Caveat emptor, yeah, in
emptor.
Latin. So, but we have full couple cases, one from BC, one from Ontario, Quebec. So both was said, listen, just because like they actually, so the buyers lost when they tried to sue a seller for not disclosing the death. So just because comfortable with it doesn't mean automatically win. However, the commercial real estate as well. So like we have few.
Yeah, I heard there is a lot of haunted houses even in Calgary, like Fairmont Pallister Hotel.
Yeah.
And that has to be disclosed. If there's records of it being haunted, no, haunting does not have to be disclosed. Reports of haunting, it does not have to be disclosed.
Yes.
But yes, those are the kind of things that you can write into a contract, believe it or not, saying that this house has not been reported as a haunted house or had sightings of haunting.
I mean, now that the article's coming out, the one we have just pulled off of Daily, was it Daily Haven?
Daily Hive.
Daily Hive. They post a lot on Instagram on all the stuff happening in Calgary. They put 13 properties together. That is definitely, I knew most of them actually. There's a couple I actually never heard, but it's those like everybody knows. The case in Ontario again about they actually have a lot to register haunted houses. Yeah. But if you in court of law and judge decided that the haunting is not change the value of the property, then you're going to buy a haunted commercial real estate.
Absolutely. And the Dean House in Calgary is actually the only registered haunted house, even though there's stories about the Hose and Hound being haunted and the Palliser being haunted.
Rose and Crown, I've heard multiple stories. Yeah. In fact, a lot of people who work late there, they don't even go to the second floor. They it's a no, because everybody pretty much, I heard so many stories of the ghosts of the second floor. And of course, the grandstand? I never heard about the story about the grandstand. Apparently, the worker has died building it, and they can hear him walking through.
Really?
Yes, that's kind of.
And then there is the
Rouge,
Lovely Rouge restaurants.
Knox United Church downtown. I've been in there. It's a spooky just on its own with
and the ghost one is about the bride who died.
Yeah, the one
wedding in
Banff. In Banff Fairmont Hotel.
What? Yes. The hidden room, right? There's the hidden room, the room that they blocked off. Is that what it's about? Because there's a room that was haunted and they blocked off.
No, apparently there was a bride. So the story I heard, there was a bride walking down those beautiful stairs in Banff Spring Hotel, and she tripped on her own veil and died on her own wedding. Oh. Yeah.
But there's also a room that they blocked off.
Yeah.
In the hotel, in the Banff Springs.
So apparently she's still wondering. Goosebumps everywhere. Let's have a sip. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting. But those are all the really cool stories, and there's lots of information. You can actually take haunted tours in Calgary. So there is a lot of haunting and spooky tours that you can take in Calgary to learn about the history of Calgary, the history of hauntings in Calgary, and so on and so forth. Yeah. But what's haunting is how cool our present is for this.
Oh my God. Wow. All right. So, is it the last show?
It is the last show of October.
Oh my God, last show of October.
So this is what you're going to win next week.
All right.
When you like and share our show.
Take this off.
Like and share our show.
This is a really cool gift. It comes in a wooden box with 2 rock glasses. It comes with a stone cubes. You can chill them, put it in your scotch.
Instead of ice.
Yeah. So the reason you do, if people don't like put any water in their scotch, they use a little stone thing, so we would never can take out.
It is a very sexy gift.
Yeah, very great gift. And Christmas coming up, entertainment season coming up, or you just want to enjoy it by yourself at home. That's totally cool.
Exactly.
I do it all the time. So how are you gonna win? How do you win our prizes, Victoria?
Exactly. We're testing her.
Yeah. I won it a year ago. I won the prize in Tipsy Realtor. It was a kit with different flavors that I can add to the cocktail.
Bitters, yes.
Yeah, and I was
So how do you win them? What do you do?
I First of all, I'm watching all the videos.
So you like our videos?
I put the likes on the videos and then comment in the videos, and it's just as easy as
share it
that.
to your friends.
Yeah, and share it.
And see, she learned so much about real estate
That
that
I
she decided to be a
join, yeah.
realtor. So we couldn't be happier, you guys.
Actually,
Yeah.
from me as at the position of the customer who was out of real estate before, in these videos, there is not just cocktails and stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many valuable information as a person out of the industry.
See, so watch it to the end.
You need to watch it.
Yeah. Watch it to the end. Like our shows, share our shows. We're on all social media platforms. Obviously, we're live on Facebook, Instagram.
I already did it.
Oh, you already did it. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm behind. LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah.
We're there on all of it.
Every time you see anything about Tipsy Realtors, like it, share it, invite your friends to watch it, invite your family to watch it.
Wonderful prizes.
And your name, we're gonna get to be entered to win the prize as many times as you click like.
That's right. But next week.
Oh yeah, next week.
We are moving into November.
November.
I know.
I'm bringing a mustache.
I know, you're going to have to get a mustache.
Oh, we need to get a mustache.
Okay. So, Horse and Carriage is the drink we're doing, and we're going to talk about carriage houses over garages. So, carriage houses are the suites that go over top of garages. We're going to talk about how they increase value, the cost of building them, and how they are assets and where you can find them here in Calgary. So,
cool topic.
It is a great topic.
Yeah.
And, of course, we are going to have all of our names up there soon. But if you're looking at buying or selling real estate, or your friends, family, coworkers, or anyone you know is looking at buying, please make sure they call the number on the screen. Ask for myself, Anna, and now Victoria. And we have a huge plethora of languages now that you
see, we're like a multi-language team now.
Exactly.
So obviously English, Russian, Ukrainian,
French,
and French.
Yes. So we've got. And I don't speak enough Spanish to make it contract worthy.
Actually, but Robin is learning Spanish. Yeah, you can probably talk about cocktails in Spanish.
I probably could.
Yeah.
Te gusta.
Or no, me gusta.
Me gusta. Yeah. So, anyways, like and share our show. Call us at the number on the screen. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Enjoy Halloween and trick or treat safe.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks. Bye. Happy Halloween.